All right, okay, that's all the time I'm willing to give you guys for this question, but I am serious, guys. We are going to cross multiply. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to take that 7/1. I'm going to cross multiply the 1 in that direction and the y in that direction. So what I'm going to end up with is 1 times x plus 1 is just going to give me x plus 1. So I'm going to have x plus 1 is equal to 7y. And I'm going to name that equation 1. And then I don't really think I want to change this equation. I'm going to leave it exactly the way it is. So I'm just going to write x over y plus 1 is equal to 6. And I'm going to name that equation 2. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to take equation 1 and I'm going to rearrange it because x is on its own. I'm going to rearrange this to make x the subject of the formula. Right, so I'm going to take that plus 1 over to the other side and I'm going to end up with x is equal to 7y minus 1. And that's going to be my equation 3. All right, and then I'm going to use substitution because I can see an x in equation 2. So I'm going to sub, now it's no longer equation 1, it's equation 3. So I'm going to sub equation 3 into equation 2. Hi, Sia. Hello. All right, so I'm going to go in equation 2, I see an x, and I know wherever I see x, I need to replace it with 7y minus 1. So on the top, there's an x, so I'm going to go 7y minus 1 over y plus 1 is equal to 6. Now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to write this as 6 over 1. What do you guys think I can do again this time? What can I do? The hint is in the again.
Cross multiply.
We can cross multiply. Yes, Madonna. We can cross multiply again. Right. So I'm going to take y plus 1 and I'm going to multiply it with 6 and I'm going to take 1 and I'm going to multiply it with 7y minus 1. 1 times 7y minus 1 is just going to give me 7y minus 1 is equal to, on this side, I'm going to get 6 times y plus 1. And then this makes it a lot easier because it's just a linear equation and we can solve for a linear equation. I'm going to get 7y minus 1 is equal to 6y plus 6. Anything without a y or anything with a y, one side, anything without a y, other side. So I'm going to take 6y over to that side and I'm going to take -1 over to that side. So I'm going to get 7y minus 6y is equal to 6 plus 1. 7y minus 6y will give me y is equal to 7. Here we go. And now we have an answer for y. We still need to go and find x. I'm going to use equation 3 for that. I know that equation 3 says x is equal to 7y minus 1. I know what y is. Y is 7. So I'm going to go y is equal to 7 times 7 minus 1. And that's going to equal 49 minus 1. That's going to give me 48. X is equal to 48. And there are my two answers, X and Y. All right. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. If you came in a little bit late, I know this question was a little bit confusing, but it's all still to do with simultaneous equations. So if you rewatch this particular section of today's lesson, then you'll be able to understand exactly what ma'am has done with this question. All right, and it's quite nice because they like to ask questions like this. They try to make them complicated and they're not really. And I hear a ma'am somewhere. Hello? No, ma'am. Okay. Oh, that's okay. No worries. Hello, Tandole too. No worries. Okay, shall we get into what we're going to do today? Today, we're actually going to be looking at literal equations. Okay, now literal equations are equations where we don't necessarily have numbers. So sometimes we do have numbers, but not all the time, right? So most questions for literal equations will normally say, solve for something in terms of something else. Okay, so they'll say, solve for x in terms of t. Now, what this statement actually means is I need to do a couple of routine procedures, things that we know how to do, and I must get x equals something, but this part of the equation will have t in it. My answer for x will have t in it. That is what the in terms of t part means. It means that my answer will have t in it, right? Same as if your teacher says, solve for y in terms of x. What they're actually saying is do a series of operations, and at the end, you need to get y is equal to something, but my answer, that something that I have, will have an x in it. My answer will have x in it. All right, so let's see what these kinds of questions actually look like. Right, so here's the first one. If we look at this question over here, this thing is saying solve for n. We want to solve for n. Now this n, if we're solving for n, our answer is definitely going to have a p, a v, an r, and a t in it. We're not going to be able to get rid of those things. Excuse me. So when we're going to solve for this, we're going to do a series of operations, and we're going to end up with n is equal to, and my answer is going to have a p, a v, an r, and a t in it. All right. This is what this question is actually saying. All right, so let's look at this particular question. It's not going to be that difficult, right? Let me see. Okay, let's start with r and t, because we want n on its own, right? I know that r and t are multiplied to n. So if I want to get rid of a multiply, what do I need to do?
The inverse operation, which would be division.
Correct. It's the inverse operation. Good. We do the division of it. So in this case, we would then have to take this side and divide by RT, and also this side and divide by RT. And that will cancel with that. That will cancel with that. So my final answer there, I've got n on its own. So now I'm going to go n. Therefore, n is equal to PV over RT. All right. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down. How are we feeling about literal equations? They're not always going to be this easy. I feel like I picked an easy example. Desmarie says thumbs up. I like it. So far, so far. Thanks for adding the so far, because if you know anything about Teacher Coco, is that it's not always going to be that simple. All right, let's jump into some examples of our own. All right, now this instruction here says solve for x in the following literal equations. Let's start with number 1. Okay, now if you look at number 1, I've got x, here's x over here. So I know that my final answer is definitely going to have a y in it. All right, so like Mandisa has said, we need to do the inverse operations. We need to do inverse operations. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, because I want the thing with x in, I'm going to get rid of the 4y by taking it over to the other side, right? So I'm then going to end up with 2x is equal to, there's a 2 there, so I'm going to get 2 minus 4y. Okay, and now I want to get rid of the 2 in front of x, so I'm going to divide by 2. But what I do on the left-hand side, I must do on the right-hand side as well. Now, the problem here is that this whole thing is divided by 2. So I can't just go divide by 2. No, I can't do that. I must go all over 2. All right. I must take the whole thing all over 2. And those 2 will cancel. Therefore, x is equal to 2 minus 4y over 2. All right. I feel like that one was also very easy. I don't like it. These are too easy. I should make them a little bit harder.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Why don't the other twos cancel each other out?
Because this isn't just 2, this is 2y, 2 minus 4y. So if we wanted, what we could do is we could factor out a 2. We can take out a common factor of 2 at the top. Yes? So we'd end up with x is equal to, if I take out an HCF of 2, what do I have left?
I'm sure of negative
1.
4. Or 1 and negative 4.
1
Minus
minus.
4.
If I take out, remember, I'm factorizing. What's my common factor?
2 minus 2y.
Yes, 1 minus 2y over 2. And then those two things will cancel. So x is actually equal to 1 minus 2y. But we're not really, that's not the objective of the exercise. Yes, we can do it just to make sure that we get all the marks. But what I'm trying to teach us here is how to maneuver the equation to get what we want. All right. Are we okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
All right. Yes.
Since we said that a negative sign and a positive sign, it separates the terms. So I
Yes.
thought that 2 minus 4y would that was like 2 terms.
Yes, it could. Yes. So you'll see how we'd end up with the same answers here. I can actually do this. I can go x is equal to 2 over 2 minus 4y over 2. Let's do the math. X is then going to equal to what's 2 over 2?
It's 1.
1.
Minus 4y over
And
2?
it's 2y.
Same answer.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You can do it both ways. Both ways are mathematically correct. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're very welcome. Good question. Very good question. All right, let's look at number 2, guys. Take it away. I want x as my as the subject of my formula. So switch things around. Let's see. So Tadel, which was already done. I don't think it was that difficult a question. Yeah, it was pretty easy. All right, okay, let's have a look at this one over here. All right, first thing I do know is that I need to get rid of the A. The A needs to go over to the other side, right? So that must go over, and I should get negative bx. I'm wondering who remembered that negative bx is equal to c minus a, right? And in order to get b on x on its own, I need to divide both sides by negative b. Negative b, or the whole thing over negative b. And this is why I wanted us to avoid doing this part here and there, because the idea behind this isn't really to do that. It's to get this kind of answer. Okay, the negative b's will cancel, and then x is equal to c minus a over negative b. Even if I split them, okay, even if I write x is equal to c over negative b, minus, now that minus is going to become a plus because I'm taking out a minus, plus a over negative b. That's a lot more complicated. They both have the same denominator. It would be best to just leave it like that, right? Leave it like that. All right, here's your next one. Maybe I should give you guys 2 of them. Let's do both 3 and 4. When you're ready, pop your answer, or you pop your favorite emoji in the chat. They were never going to get easier, Sia, I can tell you that. I wasn't going to make them easier, so they were going to get harder. It is what it is. Watch out for number 4. Actually, both number 3 and number 4 are quite challenging. I'm sorry, Desmarie. I know. It's a very, very like challenging higher order question. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Okay, number 4 is quite challenging. I'll give you that. I'm sorry, guys. Unfortunately, the few literal equations we did above are actually grade 9 questions, so I couldn't leave it there. Okay, but I'll give you guys a hint. Right, because I have a squared, I want everything that has an x on one side and anything that has an a on the other side, right? So I'm going to bring this number over to the side and I'm going to take the negative ax over to the other side. That's the only tip I can give you guys. So if you move those things around that way, you're going to see, I think you're going to see it, especially on the left-hand side. So give it a try. Okay, takes a bit of higher order thinking, I agree, but it is worth doing. Hmm. One more minute, guys. I would like to remind you guys that it's okay to just be here for vibes if you don't understand what's going on just yet. And just wait. I would prefer if you tried it anyway, just to see what you get, to see where your logical mind takes you. Thank you, Sia. That's all I needed. All right, let's start with question. It's okay, Mandisa, it's okay. That's how people figured out maths, by just playing around with what they had. All right, let's start with number 3. Now, I know that I need to solve for x, right? So these two things, that one and that one have x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take AB over to the other side. Right. So I'm going to end up with x squared plus ax is equal to negative AB. And I feel like I'm losing the plot. I'm losing the plot because I can't factorize this thing without there being an x left. So it's going to be difficult for me to do that. All right. So how about maybe we take both things with an a over to the other side. So I can do this. I'm going to go x squared is equal to negative ax minus ab. Right? Then I'm going to factor out a negative a. That is still going to give me x plus b. Okay, it's not there. We can't factorize a trinomial because it doesn't work that way. Who's got an idea for me?
Would it not be a difference of 2 squares?
Not with a plus in the middle, my darling.
I mean, dots.
Dots would need, because remember the difference in dots means negative. So there must be a negative in between the two. Okay. Okay. No, there must be something that can be done here. Anybody got an answer? Guys, I can't believe I said this question myself and I also don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, x squared plus a will leave me with x plus b over here is equal to 0. X squared is equal to negative a multiplied by, I know, Sia, even for me, right? And then if we divide both sides by x plus b, I'm going to get x squared over x plus b is equal to negative a times x plus b over x plus b. And then we can split it, right? These two will cancel out. So I will end up with x squared over x plus b is equal to negative a. All right. Then I can go x squared over x plus x squared over b is equal to negative a. That will give me x plus x squared over b is equal to negative a. Hi, well, guys, why is the math not mathing? Auntie, what did I do with this question? Okay. I'm definitely going to erase this from the video, and then we're going to skip this question until I find out where I've written the answer, and then we'll come back. I'm very sorry. We'll come back to this question. I know, guys, even me, why do they pay me? Even me, I don't know. Why am I being paid? Also me, I don't know. I know. I'm very sorry. Okay, I will. I know where I wrote it down. I did write it down. I will go look for it. Okay. I at least know how to do that one. Let's look at number 4. Not Sia eating go-slows to watch me and my demise. I can see you there. Watching ma'am on some, ma'am, this is getting interesting. I caught you. All right, okay, in this one over here, I do absolutely know what to do. All right, I'm going to take the 4 over to the other side, and then I'm going to take negative ax over to this side. All right, so what I'm going to end up with on the left is I'm going to get x squared minus 3x minus 4 is equal to, and then I will have ax, because the ax will come over, plus a, right? I'm going to notice that this over here is a trinomial, so I can factorize the trinomial. And if I factorize, I'm going to get x minus 4 and x plus 1 is equal to, now on this side, I can take out a common factor of a. So I'm going to take out a common factor of a, and if I do that, I'm going to end up with a multiplied by x plus 1, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by x plus 1, divide over here by x plus 1. So x plus 1 and x plus 1 will cancel. And on this side as well, x plus 1 and x plus 1 will cancel. So I will end up with x minus 4 is equal to a. Therefore, x is equal to a plus 4. See, guys, I told you. I did. I earned that degree. I promise. That degree, it was mine. I told you guys. Okay. Okay. Are we at least okay with how ma'am did number 4? Just stay with me, guys. Though, Tanalweti, I don't think you're allowed to say that after you watched ma'am just bomb number 3. You are not allowed to say that at all. Because you just watched me bomb number 3. See, I've got square roots. See, where did the square roots come from? Haibo. Square roots. Okay. Okay, let's look at number 5. Okay, let's look at number 5. Right, and I'm going to give you guys a hint on how to work out number 5. All right. I want everything without an x one side and everything with an x to one side. So what we're going to start by doing is we're going to take that thing, and we're going to move them that side. Okay, start there. I'm going to explain again, but these questions are quite challenging. It's not like they were going to be easy. It's not, trust me, Desmarie, 5 is a lot easier than number 3. Let me find where I've written it down. Need to get that one. It's not. Okay, Desmarie, just follow what I just said. Follow what ma'am has just said. And tell me if it works out. Because I already have an answer for x. I can tell you guys that x is plus or minus 2. And I can tell you that answer by just looking at it. So that means it's quite accessible. Mandisa got it. I told you, Mandisa, it's not that difficult now that we see it, hey? And you also got this one. Well done. One more minute, guys. Yay, well done, Sia. All right, that's time, guys. Okay, so this one is quite nice. If you followed the steps that ma'am asked of you here. All right, so I'm gonna take everything with ax squared and I'm gonna leave with an x squared and I'm gonna leave it on one side. So I'm gonna get ax squared plus bx squared equals, I'm gonna take the negative 4a over to the other side. That's gonna give me 4a, and then negative 4b goes over and becomes plus 4b. Right. Now, because I only want x squared, I'm going to take out a factor of x squared. There's an HCF of x squared here. So I'm going to take out x squared and I'm going to have a plus b left is equal to, now I know that I want a plus b. And on this side, I can then take out a common factor of 4. So I'm going to take 4 out. And I'm going to end up with a plus b on this side, right? Then I'm going to divide this side by a plus b. And then I'm going to divide this side by a plus b. And that will cancel with that. Then we'll find that x squared is equal to 4. And then I can just square root. Therefore, x will equal to the square root of 4. That should give me plus or minus 2. I don't think that was a difficult question. It was okay. It was okay-ish. All right, can I give you guys another one? Okay, it won't be, it will be a little bit, yeah, but we'll be fine, I promise. Okay.
I have a very long method.
You did a different method.
Yeah, I think the method is wrong, but my answer is right.
Okay, tell me what method did you use here?
So first, I took all the things with the a on the other side,
Oh,
and then
so
I got
you got
ax squared plus bx squared equals to 4b plus 4a.
Okay.
And then I pulled out, and then over here on the ax squared, I pulled out x as the common factor.
Oh,
Only
okay. So if you take x out as a common factor, what do we have left on the inside?
I got ax plus bx.
Good. Ax plus bx. Good.
And then on the other side, I pulled out 2 as a common factor.
Okay.
And then I got 2b plus 2a.
Okay.
So then on the other side again, I divided by ax, I divided by a, and then plus bx, I divided by b.
Ah, okay. That's wrong. That's not correct. So I can't just decide to do that and do that. Okay. That's not how mathematics works. Okay. If you're going to divide by something, we need to divide all the way through by it. Okay. So if I divide by a, I must also divide by a there. So I can't decide to divide by the one, but not the other. All right. So unfortunately, if this was, and it most likely is, a 4-mark question, Sia, you would get 1. Because your method is then wrong. So we would stop marking. We would stop marking from here. This part would be wrong. Okay. Unfortunately, my boy would only give you 1 mark. So we've got to do the right things when it comes to maths. Okay. But it's a good try. It's a good thing to just shift things around and see what you can do with the maths. But don't lie. Don't lie to us about the maths. Okay.
Yes. No problem.
All right. Good try. Desmarais, did I go to the correct place? Is this where you wanted me to scroll up to? Can I scroll back down? All right, excellent. Okay, cool, guys. Okay, here's your next challenge. Okay, I'm going to give you guys this equation. A is equal to 2 pi r, open brackets, h plus r. And I want you guys to make h the subject of the formula. I will give you guys 4 minutes. Take it away. Yes, Morangi, it's pi. There's pi. And tomorrow is International Pi Day. Does anybody know why tomorrow is International Pi Day? No? Because tomorrow is March the 14th. And in America, we write that as 314. And we know that pi starts as 3,14, 15, on. Mandisa, no. Yes, it is Thursday. Yes, correct. So, but it's March the 14th. So we write it as 3,14 for Pi Day. I know this because my headmaster promised me a cupcake with pi on it. With the symbol pi on it. And I'm looking for my cupcake. I must get my cupcake. He must give it to me. It's mine. Oh, Ibikanyo, you're gonna do great. I know you're gonna do great. You are gonna do great. Don't even stress. But Sia, if something is in a bracket, is it not multiplied to the thing on the outside? Wouldn't we want to get rid of the thing on the outside of the bracket first? Wouldn't we want to get rid of that guy first. Ah, Mandisa got it. There it is. I see Bucanyo's beep beep. I think Bucanyo got this one as well. Tandolwetu, we're trying to make H the subject of the formula. So you need to do some things for me. Do some things, and then at the end, you should say, therefore, H is equal to something. That's what I want. All right, peeps, that's time. So for the two of you that got it, well done. Okay, well done. Okay, so let's look at, okay, how to do that. Now, the first thing we're going to do, guys, is we're going to get rid of this 2 pi r because the h that I want is inside a bracket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this side by 2 pi r, and I'm going to divide this side by 2 pi r. So that will cancel with that. So now I've got a over 2 pi r is equal to whatever's left on this side, which is h plus r. So this wasn't even a difficult question, guys. My next move is just going to be to move the r over to the other side. Right? I'm just going to take r and move it over to the other side. So I'm then going to get a over 2 pi r minus r is equal to h. And that's it. Anything difficult there?
Ma'am, I would have gotten it, but I made a stupid mistake.
Ivo, my darling, what did you do?
I said r squared. I don't know how I said r squared.
How
Instead
did
of
we end up
minus r.
with that point? Hey,
Ma'am, everything
yeah.
else is correct. It's just the r. I don't know how I got that r
Okay.
squared. But yeah.
Okay, it's fine. That's okay. That's okay. All right, shall we try another one? I think let's try another one. Okay, that one was a little too easy. Okay, let us try. How, Sia? That is the shortest one so far. Okay. All right, let's solve for this one. And this one is also quite easy. AX squared minus BX is equal to AY squared plus BY. But now, the instruction says solve for x minus y in terms of A and B. That's the instruction. So we want our answer at the end. We want to do things that, and we want to end up with x minus y equals something. Excuse me.
Ma'am, I think I got it.
Ah, look at you. It's getting a little easier. It's not as difficult, hey? 1 more minute. All right, peeps, that's time. Okay, Mandisa, did you actually find the answer? Would you like to share with us how you got to the answer?
Not really.
No. Okay, give it a try, my colleague. No, nobody's gonna judge here. I don't think many of them were here for vibes. So I'm glad you tried it. Okay, what did you do?
Ma'am. Ma'am, can you explain it? Then I'll tell you if I got it correct or if I got it incorrect.
Okay, I can do that, no worries. Okay, so I know for a fact that if I just go on this side and I take out a factor of x, I'm going to end up with ax minus b, and I'm going to have a problem because there's an x in the middle there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the two things that are squared and I'm going to put them together because they both have a in common. And then the things that have just an x, I'm going to put, or the things that just have a b, I'm going to put those together. So I'm going to take ay squared, take it over to the other side, and I'm going to take negative bx over to the other side. So I'm going to end up with ax squared minus ay squared is equal to, now if I bring negative bx over, I'm going to get bx plus by. Right, now over here, I can take out a common factor of a. So I'm going to take a out, and I'm going to get x squared minus y squared is equal to, over here, I'm going to take out a common factor of b. If I take b out, I'm going to have x plus y left. Now, this looks familiar, doesn't it? What does that look like?
Isn't that factor?
It is a factorization. What factorization are we using? Yes, that's it, Sejo, that's it, Morangi. It's dots, right? So I'm going to have a, open brackets, x plus y, open brackets, x minus y, is equal to b, x plus y, right? So now I can see that there's an x plus y on both sides. So I'm going to divide this side by x plus y, divide this side by x plus y. So those two will cancel and that one will cancel. So now what I've got left on the side is a, open brackets, x minus y is equal to b. But my question said, solve for just x minus y. So I must divide by a on both sides. Divide by a, divide by a. The a's will go away. So my answer is actually x minus y is equal to b over a. All right. How did we find that? Difficult, medium, easy? Tell me in the chat. How did we find that question?
Medium towards easy.
Medium toward easy. I like it. How does everyone else feel about it? I don't know if everybody else is feeling the same way you are. So close. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Close is good. We'll take close. Everyone else? Okay, Sia says medium to hard. Okay. That's fine. All right. Okay, I'm not going to keep us any longer because we still have our quiz to do for tonight. Our quiz tonight is on simultaneous equations and literal equations. Okay.